Welcome back to the Scale Up Your Sales and Marketing podcast. It's been created to provide practical, no-nonsense support for small business owners like you. So we're in episode 3 and Lisa's going to ask you, what are you selling and who are you selling it to?
Oh, what a good question. I'd probably add on an extra W so that we get to the 3 was, which is what are you selling, who are you selling it to, and why should they care?
Ooh.
So let's deal with the what first. The reason why this is really important, especially as small business owners, is that we need to know what the actual thing is that we are selling to the people, so potential customers that we're reaching out to. So we might be a business with a zillion products. So for example, if you are a product business and you have a range of, let's say, 20 products, that's quite a lot of product information to get across to your potential customer in what might be a very short telephone interaction or a very brief email. So you need to be clear about what exactly it is you want to lead with to generate interest and intrigue about your products, goods and services. So narrow it down is what I'm saying, and make it really clear that I want to sell to this customer X, whatever that looks like, whether that's a product or a service. So that doesn't mean that you have to discount or ignore all of the other products and services in your portfolio. It just means that you have to be really clear and targeted about what it is specifically you are trying to get that particular customer to buy from you. And the reason why this is so important is because this will help you with your sales outreach, whether that be a telephone call or whether that be an email, because you need to have something clear, concise and succinct that you can share with that person in whatever way that you are going to communicate with them. So what are you selling? Be really clear. So pick one thing and be clear. What you aren't selling is you and you as the business owner. So what I mean by that is you aren't making a phone call to a potential customer and saying, "Hi, my name's John. I've just started a business selling widgets and gadgets." Right, okay, lovely. Why should I care? And why have you disrupted me from my day to tell me that? You need to be really clear that you have a defined product or service that you are trying to sell to this particular customer. Who are you selling it to? So this does vary from consumer to customer. So consumer being the person that actually consumes or uses your product or service. So let me give you an example of...
I've got a great example for you.
Go on, go for it.
I liken this to a parent and a child at the checkout when there used to be sweets and the child would say, "Mummy or Daddy, I really want that chocolate bar." And the mummy or the daddy would say, "No, you're not having it." So the customer is the parent and the consumer would be, if they said yes, the consumer would be the child. That's what I usually use with that analogy.
Absolutely brilliant example. Parent in this scenario often referred to as the gatekeeper. Ooh. As in they are what unlocks the opportunity for the consumer or not, as the case may be.
Or the purse.
Yeah, well, exactly, yes. So it's really important to understand who you are selling it to. And so is that the consumer, i.e. the person that buys the product and then consumes it or the service? Or is it the customer? So the person that buys into the product or service but then doesn't actually use it or consume it. And the reason why this is important is if you are a business selling B2B, you need to understand who the decision maker is within that business, i.e. who is the ultimate the person who has the ultimate say as to whether it's a yes or a no, who is the budget holder. And that does vary from business to business. So, for example, you could be having a conversation with a sales manager, but they don't have ultimate say. Their boss has ultimate say and then their boss has to go to the next person who actually holds the purse strings. So it's important that you really define the decision maker and the person who has the power to say yes to whatever it is you are presenting to them. This is really important because when you are targeting B2B and when you are making your sales outreach, you need to not waste your time having a long conversation with somebody who does not have the say. This is also really important when you're building a prospects list. So, for example, a business owner friend of mine contacted me recently and said, can you help me build a prospects list? I want to acquire more businesses based in a particular location. So I said, of course I can help. Who is the person within that business? What job title might they have that you want to target? So who is the person that needs this service that is going to buy into this service? So that will help you get straight to the decision maker. And actually, it's important to know this because your time is limited and your time is valuable. So you need to make sure that you're speaking to the right person from the get-go. And why should they care? Well, this is when we're going to talk a bit now about features and benefits, which is one of my favourite subjects. But I think it's really important just to recap. What are you selling? So clearly define the exact product or service that you want to speak to this potential customer about. And who is that potential customer? Think about it. Who is the person that makes the decision around whether they go ahead and whether your invoice gets paid? Because you need to understand that in order to be able to target them and speak to them in the right way. I also want to just touch on, we talked a bit about consumer and customer. So if you are a product-based business and you are selling B2B, i.e., let me give you an example. I produce a jam and I want to get it into a farm shop. The customer is the farm shop owner. The consumer is their customer that's going to pick up your jam and consume it. You are selling to the customer, so you need to tailor your communication specifically to them. So telling them that it's made with 25 raspberries is probably not going to cut it. But telling them that it's made with 25 raspberries, which is 30% more than your next best-selling competitor, is actually going to make them think, this is a product that I need in my range. So you need to really tailor your communication specifically to the person who is the decision maker. So in the retail example, the retailer is your gatekeeper. So the retailer is the person that says yay or nay as to whether your product goes on their shelf and ultimately ends up in the hands of your ideal consumer. So let me take you through features and benefits. And this is basic sales training, which if you've not had the luxury of going through sales training, you probably will never have had and probably might not understand. But it's really important. And it's really important for you to drill down into the exact product or service that you have and what's great about it. And the reason why it's an important exercise is because it creates content. So it means you've got lots to talk about that one particular product or service that you're going to be selling. And it means that if you come up against an objection, which you will, you can talk about something else. So let me expand. So features are factual. So I'm just looking around now at what we've got in front of us. A glass. That is a fact. That is a glass. The benefits are, it's a pint glass. It's ridged, which makes it look really pretty, and it stands out on the table and provides this really nice reflection on the wooden table that makes it a little bit different and look a bit more posh. So the feature is the factual information. So I've got a spider diagram in front of me, which obviously you, the listener, won't get the full benefit of seeing, but maybe I'll actually share these on our Instagram. And I have picked something really basic. I've picked it because at the time of drawing this spider diagram, I was sitting in my spare room surrounded by washing, and the first thing I saw was my 18-year-old son's sock. So, entertain me a little bit here, or go with me on this one. So, first and foremost, at the centre of my spider diagram is the word feature. Then we go into more features. It's grey. It's an ankle sock. It's an elasticated sock. It's a branded sock. It's 100% cotton. It's ribbed. And then we drill down even further beneath those benefits. It's ribbed. That means it won't slip down. It's 100% cotton. That means it's absorbent and will absorb any sweat. Branded. Wow, that means I can show off to my mates that I've got these cool socks. And it's a demonstration and a sign of quality. Not particularly in this instance, because I think it was a Donné sock or something like that. But other sock fans are available, by the way. Elastic. That means it won't slip down, which we've already said. Ankle. That means it goes under my trousers. And actually, on those chilly days, it keeps my ankles warm. It's grey. Well, grey goes with everything, doesn't it? It's an easy on the eye, blend it type colour that I can just get away with wearing. So these are all features and benefits of the sock that I would share with the consumer of my sock, i.e. the person who's actually buying it. In this case, my 18-year-old son. However, if I was selling this sock to the decision maker, gatekeeper, retail owner, I might like to say, these socks are a known brand. That means you, Mr. Retailer, can charge a premium. That means you, Mr. Retailer, will benefit from advertising that the brand will be doing, which will drive customers into your store to buy these socks. You, Mr. Retailer, need to stock these known brand socks because it enables you to cross-sell them with other products from the same brand. Mr. Retailer, these socks come packaged in cardboard, no plastic. Better for the environment, something that you can shout about, and something which is aligned to your sustainability values. Mr. Retailer, these socks come packed in cases of 6. Wow, cases of 6. That means they fit in the stock room where I haven't got a lot of space. It means I only have to order 6 at a time. Mr. Retailer, these socks come in what we call shelf-ready packaging. So what's not to like? I open the box, tear off the top, shove it on the shelf. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Mr. Retailer, the individual socks packed in cardboard also have a hook, which means you can hook them on clip strips around your store, which will enable you to maximise spontaneous, impulsive purchases. So I hope you can see that the way in which you pitch your features and benefits is different depending on who you're speaking to, i.e. the decision maker, gatekeeper versus the consumer and customer. And it is really important that you drill down as much as you can. Ask yourself the question, so what? Let me just give you an example. Mr. Retailer, these socks are from a known brand. So what? That means you can charge a premium. So what? That means more money through your till. So what? More money through your till means more profit. So what? More profit means you can invest in more stock, socks, I'm getting confused, and so on and so forth. I've also done a spider diagram for our signature sales outreach program, which is a service as opposed to a product. there's lots of information there that I probably won't go into now, but I will definitely share with you or make available to you if you want to know about it. But here I talk about the time of the program, which is 12 weeks, the number of outlets that we contact on behalf of our clients, the fact that we use the telephone, the fact that we use email, the fact that we split the payment from our clients into 3, therefore enabling them to better manage their cash flow, the fact that we provide weekly reporting, the fact that we only work with non-competing brands, and the fact that we also manage sample fulfillment for our clients too. So there's lots of information there. But coming back to where we started in terms of what are you selling and who are you selling it to, I hope that I've given you an insight into how important it is to build as much information and detail about your one product as possible, because this helps you build a selling story. It also enables you to talk a lot about one product across your social media platforms. So less is more, right? That's what we say all the time. Don't reveal your full hand in one go. Talk about one thing and talk about it well. So when you are thinking about what you want to sell, you need to do your features and benefits. And if nothing else, it will make you feel, as a small business owner who has created this product or service, pretty flipping amazing about this product or service that you've created. Like when I sat here and did this spider diagram about our sales outreach programs, I thought, flipping heck, we've created that from scratch. Look at all of those features and benefits, features of that service and benefits to our customers. So it's actually quite an empowering, give yourself a pat on the back type process.
I think you touched on something really important there, is that even an established business can still go through this process again and again and again and drill down more or expand and really just take a step back and have a look at what is actually going on. And like you said, with that features and benefits list, you even wowed yourself. Yeah. So at any point, any business owner can re-look at this on a product and service level.
And don't take anything for granted. So if you have a product, think about the packaging that it's in, think about the branding, think about, how it looks, all of those things. But please, 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 I would urge you, do not sell your product or service features and benefits for the consumer to the customer, because actually that is 2 very different audiences. You need your customer in order to unlock the opportunities with your consumer. So features are factual. Benefits need to be specific to the decision maker and are the why they should care, i.e. the why they should buy it or the why they should stock it, to ultimately get it into the hands of your consumer. One more thing, and I'm probably going to end here, is about this decision maker. So as small businesses, you'll do a lot of targeting other small businesses. Many of them will have email addresses that are info@, hello@, inquiries@. That might well be their only email because they're a small business. But it might not be the email that gets you to the decision maker. So you need to do one of 2 things. You need to either use that email address and FAO a person who you have been given as the known decision maker, or you need to actually find out the contact details of the decision maker, because you can spend a lot of time liaising with this info@, and it's just going into a hole of nothingness, a hole of no response. So what I would say is knowing the decision maker is the first thing you need to do. And actually, in all of the sales calls that we make for our clients, our first call is to identify the decision maker so that we know that saves us time in the long run. So we can be speaking to John from day one rather than speaking to info@ for 4 weeks and then finding out that it's actually John that we need to speak to. So identifying the decision maker, absolutely key. Once you find them, speak to them, wow them with the features and benefits of your products, goods and services. And if there are any people out there who make socks, we need some more, so hook me up.
So I've got a question before we finish. So let's imagine that the person listening is thinking, well, I know who I'm selling to, I know what I'm selling, and I know why they should care, and I've been through that process. I've been thinking about it whilst you've been talking, or I've been writing it down, or I already knew. So what's next? Like we're all about scale up your sales and marketing. So once they know this information, then what?
Brilliant question. So I'll tell you a little story. I had 2 discovery calls this morning with 2 different business owners, both of which were facing the same problem. They both said, I don't know what to say. I want to reach out to these businesses, but I don't know what to say. And my advice to both of them was exactly the same. You need to think, what's in it for me? So with them, what is in it for them? But also you need to create a document or a brochure or whatever that looks like, which showcases your product or service. So you need to have something which you can share, which is shareable. So you are removing yourself from the equation and you are speaking to that person on behalf of your business about that product or service that you're selling. So you need to create a document
or a page on the website.
Absolutely, yep. Which you can direct them to. So you need to have this, shop window or whatever it looks like that entices people in to walk across the threshold, whether it be a real one or a virtual one, to find out more about what it is. But you need to know exactly what it is that you're selling. And you're absolutely right. Once you've created that document and you've nailed it, it's rinse and repeat, really. So right. Each time you send it out, and I'm probably going to talk about this in another episode, but there's this element of breadcrumbing. So each communication that you have, and see each communication as an ongoing discussion or dialogue, you're revealing a little bit more. So what you're doing is you're sowing the seed, sprinkling the breadcrumbs, waving the fairy dust, whatever you want to say. This is an education. So you're taking them from I've never even heard of you to I really love what you're doing, I want to know more. Yeah. And this is about the stages in between. So don't reveal your full hand all in one go, because if you give them War and Peace, the price, everything, and they say no, well, what else have you got to reveal? Reveal key bits of information tailored specifically to the decision maker that are going to spark their interest and intrigue and lead them to asking for more. I love it. How do I find out more? Where do I sign? Send me some samples, whatever that looks like. But this is a process of taking them from zero to paying customer over a matter of days, weeks, months, sometimes years.
Yeah.
So reveal a little bit more of your hand each time, but make sure it's relevant.
It's so true. Sometimes it can take years. I have a friend who told me that he landed a brilliant client that he's been trying to bag for such a long time. And I said, how long has that been? He said, 25 years. Isn't that just amazing? That's like proper champagne time, isn't it?
The longest I've had is 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's still epic.
Yeah.
Fab. So that's the end of episode 3. In episode 4, we're going to be talking about marketing in more depth, should you niche, and how to narrow down your target audience.
I'm really looking forward to that one, Vic. Can't wait. Don't forget, you can follow us in the meantime over on our Instagram at Scale Up Podcast.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.